Hey guys, so I just want to talk about a subject I think that's important, especially for the people in Denmark, and that's training and compete in competition. And I feel like this thing about people competing in training is something that happens more often, especially nowadays, especially more and more with social media. And I think like it really destroys training environments because the way people see training now is that if you don't win training, you're not having a great training. But if you listen to some of my other videos here on Patreon, we talk about this about if you actually come in with a pure goal and pure intention on what you want to work on to be better yourself, then it don't matter if you really win or you lose in training because you're always trying to improve on that certain skill set. And the thing is, if we're just there to train, is a matter of us trying to get better at our craft and not trying to get better for competition. Of course, when we train, we will get better for competition and we will need like similarities whenever we go to competing. But if we are putting so much pressure on ourselves in training, it will be so hard for us whenever we go to compete because every day when we go to training, it feels like a competition. So the nerves of just going to training becomes more and more and more, and the chance of us sparring with different people who might be uh, slightly less better than us and better than us, we might start to either skip rounds or we might even try to find exits because we are like getting beat down mentally because we always have to perform. And I think some of the most important things whenever we train is to one, have fun, two, improve, and three, take care of our partners. So I think if we can come in with the mentality of we having fun and we getting better, whenever we come to the competition, we will have a bigger variety of skills we can work with. And of course, if we get a match and we are 8 weeks out or 6 weeks out, we need to make a game plan, we need to get conditioning, we need to get something that simulate the way of the fights. And sometimes in training, it's nice to get that feeling too, that not everything is just playful and so on, even in rolling. But I think if all of your rounds are just competition rounds and you don't open up your game, whenever you get in that position on the mat, you will start to freeze. And I think especially in Denmark, we have this certainty, we have this thing that we don't want to get exposed to the fact that we could lose. So we much rather don't want to compete because we are so used to winning in the gym. So if I go compete and I lose, it's the worst. Or people are watching a lot more people roll, and then they think the sparring session is a match. But having a sparring session in the gym and having a real fight or having a real grappling match is two different things. So just rolling or having a match at ADCC trials are so different. And I really think like people cannot see the difference between it because we're like, oh, that guy got tapped, but he's a lot better. Yeah, but maybe he's just working on defense. So I really think like people's mindset has to switch to training has to be training, and that's where we try to improve as much as possible. And also, if you come in with the attitude that you tap your training partner or you beat up your training partner, is a negative attitude because you should really try to be like, how can I make my training partner better and did I get better today? I think like that always should be the goal, like did I get better today? And whenever you come to the competition, your teammates are going to be cheering for you, so you shouldn't really compete with them. You can compete with them in a friendly way whenever you have competitions coming up to really try to like get the feeling of competition. But I don't think like I don't feel like getting a big ego in training for winning every round is good for you. I think it will really blow down your progress. Because another thing too, now I'm just thinking, is that if you win every round in the gym, why should you start to improve? Like why should you do anything different? But it could be just you figuring out your training partners. But whenever you meet somebody with a new pattern, a new strategy, maybe a cardio machine or like just a physical specimen, maybe that things don't work. So if we don't improve, we are gonna lose at some point. And I think one of the best ways to compete and one of the best ways to get your friends to compete and get your team to compete is to have an environment where we accept that training is training and we're trying to make each other better, and whenever we go to compete, that all of us trying to win and have the best experience as possible. I think if we can do that, I think we can raise the bar of grappling in Denmark and just grappling in general. Because I don't think just sitting on your hands and winning in the gym is gonna do you anything good. I think really coming out and try to showcase what you can and what you not can, because at the end of the day, if you lose, people are gonna remember it for 2 days, 3 days, and then we're gonna forget it. But if you never really choose to come out and grapple, then all of a sudden it might never happen, you know. And I think I'd much rather get advice for somebody who tried it than somebody who never tried to be it. So it was just my thoughts about training and competing in competition. I would just say it's very important to whenever you start to go and compete, like me and my boys, we're gonna compete in March, that we're gonna have some really hard training sessions to try to win rounds, just to get ready for the matches. But we will also have some training sessions where we'll just be working on stuff to improving. That's it.